Now, your forecast with Storm Tracker Live.
We had a beautiful sunset after having a mainly clear sky today. This picture was taken in West Dothan by Jonathan Mitchell. He's an avid photographer. Very beautiful shot. If you ever see anything beautiful weather-wise, you can always send it into my WDHN Scott Facebook page or email it to scott@wdhn.com. This one was sent into my Facebook page. Thank you very much for sharing that with us this evening. On Storm Tracker Live, we just have those thin clouds moving through the area, so as a result, we're not seeing anything in the way of rain. Now, earlier in the evening, we did have some just to the west of Tallahassee, mainly along the sea breeze front, but we're going to remain pretty dry over the next several days. And after having highs in the mid-90s, things are still pretty mild on the warm side. 79 degrees is the current temperature in Dothan and Ozark, and a little cooler up in Eufaula and Troy, and still in the 80s for Andalusia at this hour. And we actually still have enough moisture, enough warmth in the air to actually have a slight heat index for some of us, still feeling like it's in the 80s, but not too much warmer. And as we do head through the overnight, we're going to start to see some more dry air come into the region. So that's going to give us a couple mornings with some cool temperatures, relatively speaking. We're actually going to be in the 60s for our morning lows, but then in the afternoons, we're going to get pretty hot, and it's going to remain pretty dry for the next week or so. Our rain chances don't increase again until we get to the end of next week, and those rain chances are going to be pretty minimal at that. And we are still tracking the tropics. Hurricane Arthur has strengthened a bit over the past several hours, and that's not going to be coming in our direction because we have a cold front coming through the region, and behind that, we're not going to see much cold air. We're just going to get some drier air in the picture. That's why the next couple mornings are going to be on the cooler side. But once that high that's behind it shifts off to the east, we'll get the return flow that will bring the moisture and humidity back in from the Gulf of Mexico. And the latest on Arthur is that it has strengthened now up to 100-mile-an-hour sustained winds at the center, so that makes it a Category 2 storm. It's now moving to the northeast at a slightly faster clip at about 18 to 19 miles an hour, so it is going to clip the Outer Banks as it makes landfall very shortly just south of Cape Hatteras, and it's likely that it could clip Cape Cod and Massachusetts, but it's going to accelerate as it does head up into the maritime provinces of Canada. So you can see that eye really defined on the radar imagery as that continues to move out of the region. Futurecast, though, keeps us pretty dry. The cold front will sink in through the south of us through the day tomorrow and really bring in that slightly drier air for us. And for the next few hours tonight, we're going to be cooling off. 68 degrees for our low temperature. Then tomorrow for the 4th of July, we'll start out cool, but it's going to be hot in the afternoon. 93 degrees for the afternoon with some cloud cover and off and on through the day, but then should be gradually clearing out by the time we do get to the evening for all the firework displays. And if you're headed down to the shore for the holiday, 91 degrees for the high in Panama City. Could see a slight shower or two, but for the most part, those rain chances are not in the forecast at all. So things are going to remain pretty dry. So if you are going to be shooting up any fireworks outside of the Dothan city limits,
because it's illegal.
It is illegal. Yeah. Be very careful because it's going to be slightly breezy, and with all the dry weather, there's some dry brush around. Some of the grass is starting to dry out, so fires can spread pretty quickly. So be careful.
Be careful.
Water hose, a bucket.
Sounds like a plan. And same thing if you're grilling with your charcoal grill.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to make sure those embers are out completely.
Pull it back from the house.
Yep.
Very good. All stuff you can use there. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate that. The